Hey everyone, and welcome to this month's NeQter Town Hall, the third. I can't believe we're already into the fall here. And fortunately, we have a new update to cover. So we're going to be reviewing what that update looks like. We're going to be reviewing some of the different features that we had, some of the reasons why we did them, and we're also going to be covering what we're going to be looking at as we move forward. So I do have my companion Nick here, who will be helping with Q&A, letting me know if I missed anything and such, but we'll be just going through the 2.16, which came out, I want to say 2 weeks ago. I think at this point, the weeks just keep blending into each other. So we'll be reviewing that, had an agent update. And so, yeah, so we'll just be covering those with this webinar today. We'll also be able to discuss, as we round out, we are in Q4, we're going to be rounding out the rest of the year, going into 2024, which is already upon us. So we'll be able to talk about what's in the works, what's on the maybe board, and also maybe get some feedback on some things from you guys on what you would like us to work on. So 216.0. One of the big things that we added was a couple enhancements to the compliance tool. So first and foremost, and I'll look to exit out of the presentation and show you my demo unit so I can kind of go a little bit back and forth to show you what we've added. One of the things, so we have a nice 3x3 grid now on the home page when you log in. The newest element or widget that we added to that grid is an SSP panel. What that's going to do is that's going to list out all of the system security plans that you have in the compliance tool. It also allows you to break out, as you can see, you can click on an arrow and see that timeline or that line graph that showcases your progress with that SSP. Now, if you have one SSP, this might not be too exciting, but if you maintain multiple system security plans, they're going to be summarized on the home page as displayed here. One of the big things that we added, I did tease this on previous webinars, but we've finally added in our compliance guide responses. So as many of you know, we have had the compliance guide, and it's on the doc site, and we keep it updated. So when NIST Rev 3, NIST SP 100-171 Rev 3, which is in draft, goes final, I have my work cut out for me to get that updated there. And then if there's a subsequent update to CMMC or a reinterpretation of the assessment guide, or if they change the cap, we'll be updating it accordingly. But all of those responses are now included in one of two ways. So if you have yet to create a system security plan, one of the things that you can do is upon creation of that plan, you will be able to select at the bottom here, check this box for guidance, where you can include the NeQter compliance guidance responses. So this isn't going to be the full answer. You'll still have to review each one and make sure that you round it out and spell out all of the other things that you're doing to meet that assessment objective. But it will include the guidance that we have that talks about if you have NeQter and it's configured all the way and you're using it, here is how much of this control you can meet and how, and it will cover the area. It will also designate if it's a non-meet, partial meet, or full meet in that description. We elected not to update the implementation status in those controls. We might enhance this a bit later by color coding the guidance, and what I mean by that is in the second method that we have the guidance, if you already have a system security plan, this is going to be the option for you. Or if you create a new plan but don't want it to be copied into all the different related areas, you can then go one by one and choose. Where applicable, under additional information, where we have the discussion assessment when it comes to CMMC, the further discussion areas, we now have a tab, NeQter Guidance. So you'll be able to click on that and copy to clipboard that response and update that. So I will show you what that looks like in the tool before I keep going here. So let me close out a few things here. So with that first piece, the SSP widget on the home page, system security plans, and if you wanted to, you could create a new SSP from here. You'll be able to click the down arrow for an expandable line graph for each of these, and you can actually open it up right here. So if we click on that, and of course you have permission to access, you will be able to do so. So if I wanted to, for starters, if I wanted to create a new SSP, and we'll just move these over here. So if we wanted to create a new SSP, we can, I'll just name it example, and we'll click on include NeQter compliance guidance responses. So if I create this SSP, it's then of course going to prompt me just to make sure I can modify the access to anyone that I need to. If that looks good, I'll just close it out. So we can see that there are 96 assessment objectives that have content in them. So if we click into 3.1 and 3.1.1a, we're going to get prompted with this response has been imported from the NeQter compliance guide. It's going to have the content, and then it's going to have a break. So like I mentioned, it's going to outline in the guidance, this is partially assisting with this assessment objective. So we can mark this as partially implemented as a status. If you elected to go the route, so let me just delete this and save. If you opted to not import like we just did, and you had a clean slate, or you have a system security plan that you're already using, we'll go over here to NeQter Guidance. And we can copy to clipboard what we want and then paste it into here. So same content, just two ways of doing things. So that's what those couple areas look like. If you already have an existing SSP, you can just, this little tab, NeQter Guidance, is going to show up right here. So additional things, and we'll also keep an eye out, see if there's any questions. If you have any questions, please drop them in the chat or in the questions area. So additionally, some things that we included. Moving on here. So view. We also enhanced our host tool. So we did a few things with this, and I'll talk about them and then break out the demo to show you what it looks like. But we added a few different elements. We added a view ability under hardware. So if there was a particular view that you wanted to maintain, so as you add tags or create a search or anything like that, you can save that view and load it up. But we also added the capability for you to um, download in an Excel spreadsheet. So outside of CSV or JSON, you now can get a nice Excel format. And we also added with that Excel format, the ability to download a full inventory report of everything that is in hardware and software and inventory. We're going to be able to grab that. And then an additional data point is we added TPM information for Windows hosts. So you'll be able to capture that, view that for each host, but then also in that table view. So the Excel format is really nice. So I've downloaded this and to view. So we got nice breakdown. Columns are colored, and so then you can break down the different columns, the different titles. And as you can see here at the bottom, all of the different sheets that we have, or all the different tabs that you have available. So if you wanted to go and look at graphics devices, if you wanted to go and see all software that's installed and on which hosts, that is all but basically tied up in a bow in that spreadsheet. And the spreadsheet is going to have the same format where it will outline with the title NeQter Inventory Report, year, month, day. So if you wanted to grab it once a week or every day, you can do that. Right now, you'll have to go and manually designate that you're grabbing that. But in future, we will have it where you can. We're going to have that recurring. So we when we add that reports area that we've been looking at. So just to show you in the hosts area what that looks like. Up over here where it says download, you can download current view or full inventory report. If you're in the hardware area and, for example, say you wanted to understand, if we go to host hardware, you went to graphics devices and you wanted to add a tag so that you would know which assets have AutoCAD, or maybe that's a tag that you made, or just CAD equipment in general, and you like this view, you can save this view and queue it up later. So you can load up a bunch of views, and then you can download this view if you'd like. You can, of course, configure the fields like we had before, but the big showstopper is full inventory report. Just snap that, download that, and you're good to go. So that's what that feature looks like. Some other enhancements that we had include before we had it where it was all lowercase, but user and company names will display as they were typed in, so that we have full case as it was configured. And then unfortunately we did have some users who Cisco Firepower was a little nebulous with different log types, or if it was an underlying Firepower with ASA, or vice versa if it was an ASA with Firepower. We had issues parsing logs. Those have been adjusted so that we can handle a much wider range. Even if something new gets thrown at it, it will be able to pull that in successfully on those inputs. And same deal for SonicWall. So you have a lot of clients that use those two, either Cisco products or SonicWall. So we enhanced the parsing and adjusted that. So to dovetail the 216 main system update, we also had an agent update. The agent update, number one, of course, if you had previous versions prior to 2.15.5, they of course support Windows 10, but not 11. So you'll need the latest version of the agent to support Windows 11. You can download the agent via the docs.nectarlabs.com website. We did have an issue where on the in the support area of the tool where you went to download agents, it had a dead link. That link has been updated. So you can also download it, the agents. Let me just show you real quick. You can download the agents either right from here. If you go up to the top right with the little lifeboat and click download agents, or if you kick out the documentation flyout, you can also search for agents to download, but that lifeboat is probably going to be the best method. Inventory and agents we can download. So, so please update your agents to the latest, because what we have in that update is that TPM information. We also updated a couple modules on the agents where we can get additional data from your systems, and a little bit more accurate. There were sometimes vendor information or serial numbers, or when it came to displays, an ability to pull resolutions. So we now have that updated. And we also had a security update for the agents. So it's important to redistribute and get those agents deployed. So that is everything when it comes to new stuff to show. I will just quickly rehash that we have um, the new hardware that we have. So of course, for everyone that is new, you're on the new hardware, and for everyone for the past year or so, you're on the new hardware. This is really just for legacy clients, the clients that have been with us for a while. We have this new hardware, so please reach out to myself or Nick to inquire, or we are typically wrapping those into renewals, just because the hardware is so much more robust and very, very, very powerful, and has much very good longevity, especially with the ability to extend warranties, which we were unable to do before. So please inquire about that. And just to wrap up, kind of what's in progress, there's a lot of different chess pieces moving about on the board right now, just because the biggest thing that we have that we're working on for end of year, going into next year, is moving our platform. We love and have always used Elasticsearch, but and the Elk stack from Elastic, but we are going to be transitioning over to OpenSearch in future for a number of different reasons, but mostly because of the robustness of the different plugins or capabilities that we have at our disposal that we'll be able to leverage at a much faster rate than we're currently developing with Elastic. And we were able to send our dev team, or most of our dev team, out actually this past week to OpenSearchCon out in Seattle, where they were able to meet a lot of the development team, talk directly to managers of different plugins and fantastic security features. So that is going to be a large undertaking that we're welcoming. For you, the client, you're not going to see a thing. You're just going to press update like normal. But we're changing a lot of things behind the scenes, making them a lot more optimal, robust, and we'll be able to file in a lot of nice features as we go into next year. There will still be updates between now and the end of the year. We have some small projects, most notably MFA support for NeQter directly. We're going to start out with email only. There's actually an authentication suite that we're going to be able to leverage with OpenSearch, so we'll be making that much more flexible in future. But we'll start out with email, and there are some other things that are getting attention for the end of the year. We just had that update. We wanted to essentially circle back and have a big team meeting with our devs to determine what our next 3 months looks like. So come November, our webinar, I'll be able to have a much clearer picture of what we have. But for the next 4 weeks, we're working on MFA and a couple things. So that's pretty much the webinar at large today. The town hall. I know crammed a bit in a 20-minute window here, but of course, if there's any questions that we can answer, anything that I can go over again of new features that we've discussed, or if we need to go over some Q&A or how-tos with the demo, we are open to do that. So, Nick, I know you've been quiet. Do we have any questions? I think it's kind of been a quiet webinar.
No, the only question that came through was from Robert inquiring about the TPM addition into the inventory, whether or not he needed to update his agent in order to see that. To which the answer is yes. I already sent him a private message on that. As an additional note, for the agent, anyone who needs the absolute latest agent file, I would ask that you please email support@NeQterLabs.com for that agent file. Just to give you a heads up, Pat, I was trying to message you.
Yep.
We are having a temporary issue with our doc site once again with the agent file.
Yeah, we'll get that addressed. So for like the immediate, today, tomorrow. But yeah, we'll get that addressed so we get that updated.
Yeah, that's, I just didn't want anyone to go like directly from here and then go to download the update. And then Wayne Gibson just sent in a question as well, asking where he can download the updates for the offline installs. Wayne, I'm guessing you're asking about how to get the update for the offline update feature.
Yeah, so that specifically, that will have to be direct with support. Yes, if anyone wants to run offline updates, it'll essentially be our support team will provide you with the file needed, and then you'll be able to go and upload that into your NeQter. So that's essentially a case-by-case basis, and essentially we have a list of clients who need offline updates, and we facilitate that. So if you haven't reached out before that you in fact need that, let us know, and that will get added to our process. But yes, our support team will send over the file that you need, and then you'll essentially come in here, offline update, and drag and drop or select it from your file explorer.
Yeah, outside of that, we haven't had any questions so far, Pat.
Okay. Anything else that you can think of? I know this was short and sweet, but but we, you know, very straightforward. A couple areas that we had, including the compliance uh, verbiage that people can add to their SSPs, the SSP widget on the home page, and then of course our host enhancement with the downloading, especially with Excel for the full inventory report, and then kind of rounding out talking about the agents. So yeah, so steady as she goes. Um, but a lot of a couple things that we can quickly address today. And so I see that there's another question here from Robert. Any thoughts on getting agents to automatically update? So long story short, with that, that is not something that we are considering. We had considered that all the way back when we did the version 2 update a couple of years back. We had actually built in automatic updates to our agents, and then the manage engine or sorry, the SolarWinds breach occurred, um, which made us rethink that, just because of having the agents always listening and always looking for instruction. When really, at most, I know we've had a couple agent updates in the past few months, but we really only have agent updates a couple times a year. So from a risk analysis, we determined that having them always listening and potentially getting as a software always can be potentially taken advantage of and exploited, we opted to remove auto updating from agents. So it has been considered, but we thought that it was a risk not worth taking, just because of the infrequency that we have agent updates, which goes to say that we won't, we can evaluate in future if it makes sense. But that was just something that, because of a few breaches where client-side agents were taken advantage of. There was SolarWinds, but I think the one that really put the nail in the coffin of the auto updater was actually the Kaseya. That, now that I remember correctly, the Kaseya breach with their RMM. So yeah, so I know that's a long answer and not the one that you wanted to hear, but we have considered it and removed it as a possibility for the time being.
Oh, we just got another question in from Brian Fulmer. Do we have any plans for an external relay so we can collect data from our client machines that move off-site static public IP for a proxy, maybe?
Yeah, so Brian, that is something where we do have that arrangement, or rather, we have helped a few clients with that setup of establishing or leveraging, helping you set up a reverse proxy with a public IP, so that you can, when it comes to the agents, we do have SSL encryption from agent to server, or your NeQter appliance. So we do have some clients who set up NeQter, in a DMZ, or set it up locally, but a reverse proxy to only listen for agent communication and only forward agent communication over the WAN externally into the NeQter. So that is something that we can explore. And something that we can open up a ticket to have our support team run down with you, if you like to set that up, because makes sense. We do have that arrangement with a few of our clients, but not something that we actively pursue. But depending on the use case, for sure. Anything else that we've seen? Oh, let's see here.
You have one more
Mhm.
question from Robert Pat asking if the 216 agent will update automatically, or if he needs to uninstall the old version and then install the new version.
Yeah, so that's going to be the latter, Robert. It will be an uninstall, reinstall. But we do, and again, that is something we can help with, or we typically have scripts and GPOs that we typically build or can help you build to accomplish that. So the agent will not automatically update. It will need to be a uninstall and redeploy. I think though as well with we added a enhancement to the agent so that they won't double up in the hosts area where they will remember where they're being installed and kind of help that process. Any other questions? We will I'll wait just another minute just to see if anything else comes in. And of course, these webinars, just to reiterate, are recorded and uploaded to our YouTube. And one thing I just want to clarify, I think I might have gotten it wrong, just to re-answer your question, Robert. So won't require a reinstall, or rather an uninstall of those agents. It will just be a reinstall only. So won't have to pull it, just have to essentially place the new one on top. Yeah, so I think that's all the questions that we had today. So appreciate everyone's time. Yep, yeah. Thank you, Robert, for your time today. We always have a lot of friendly faces on here, which is great to see. So we'll be next month, same time, same station. Let's see, it will be the 7th at 1 p.m. Eastern. We will run this again. Hopefully, have some new stuff to show, new things to go over. But appreciate everyone's time today. Hope everyone, well, it is Cybersecurity Awareness Month with the month of October. So hopefully everyone stays safe, brushes up with your cybersecurity, works some spooks and some candy into the equation. And we will look to talk to everyone next month come November. So appreciate your time today. Thanks, Nick, for being on here as well. And we'll look to catch everyone next month.
Yeah, anytime, Pat. Great job today.